First of all, congratulations. The book looks great. I'm really looking forward to reading it. One of the things that sticks out to me right off the bat is a lot of these things that you say are just in time. They seem to be out of necessity and not so much just innovating for the fun of making something better. So the question I have is twofold. And one is, how do we avoid, especially in this day and age where we all have supercomputers in our pockets pretty much, how do we avoid the just in time and actually start innovating proactively? And the second part to this, as you touched on with Germany and Angela Merkel, is when we see other nations that innovate well in advance from us, how do we ensure that we adopt their innovations to ensure we're not left behind?
Just to go this first, the second question, the best single thing I can think of is to travel as much as possible and to realize a good pair of shoes worn out helps you, that you have to know what others are doing and doing better and then add to it and incorporate it. One of the reasons you do basic science in your own country is so you can contribute to that pool of basic science from around the world and draw from it. It's an exchange game and you have to bring something into it. On the first question, necessity has been the mother of invention, but I think why we're so obsessed about the culture of innovation in the country is you want innovation to come not simply because it's necessity in the time of war or when you're freezing to death, but it's a natural proclivity of the enterprising mind, and that we all have enterprising minds, that we're all curious and that we want to do things better. Tom Friedman's book, Thanks for Being Late, speaks about how we go back to basics, and he says we need the 3 R's and then we need 4 C's, and for him they're creativity, collaboration, communication, and coding. I'm not quite sure about the 4th. I think it's too technical. But my 5 C's to create that appetite would be, first of all, curiosity, which leads to learning, then creativity, then collaboration, then communication, and finally celebration. Not simply celebration to put a light on someone and say you're absolutely wonderful, but to put a light on someone so we can encourage others to say, that's worthy of aspiring to, and we want that to become a national characteristic.
Yeah, I think that, I've spent my life doing this, and it is human nature. Most of us, we are just in time, because we have busy lives, we have busy organizations, we are creatures of that. We only do it when we have to do it, you know, that kind of thing. But underneath that, though, we as a country also have to have a fundamental foundation. And it's partly people. You could argue it's mostly people, but it's also infrastructure. If you think of things like the internet, we have to have those pathways digitally, or we can't just in time create an app or whatever. So we have to be careful. We've done very well in this country. We take for granted the Trans-Canada Highway. We take for granted the St. Lawrence Seaway. We take for granted that we were the second country to put a satellite up for communications. Like, these are very thoughtful, profound infrastructure things that we've done. So you have to do both. You have to have that infrastructure, because just in time is a come as you are party. So you only really have what you sort of set up ahead of time for your just in time. So it is a balance between the two, and we can't be so routinized that we think we can predict the future. We can't predict the future, but we have to set up the future generation so they've got the best chance at it.